Welcome back, everybody. It's 1 month later. We're gonna talk about WandaVision today. Episode 7, right? That's right.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Good. it was so mind blowing. I forgot. No. Gonna talk about WandaVision 7. A little bit of first part is gonna be what is it? Just a review from everybody, what everyone liked, what everyone didn't like. Second part, we're gonna talk about possible theories. Once again, even though we're coming to the end, there's still theories. And last part is just questions, any references we saw, things like that. Unfortunately, we have two members that couldn't be here today, Nuno and Carlo, but they will watch, hopefully, and they'll be here next week. Before we get started, let me just say thank you for watching. If you can't catch us live on Twitch, go on YouTube, like, subscribe, do all those things. And if you don't like to watch videos on YouTube, go to podcasts with Spotify, Google, Apple. We're on all those platforms, Anchor. So and go follow us there. Thank you. Before I give it off to Matt to give us his review, I do want to show you guys something real quick. And let me just pull that up real quick. This is for you, Matt. Just so you know, this is my present to you. All right. Let's see.
Nervous.
I'm trying to share my screen first. Hold on.
This is no like. Oh, here we go.
There we go. Ready?
I think Agnes. I don't think Agnes was playing games. I don't think she was serious. That she didn't know where she was. I think she could also be a goodie. I think she could also be a goodie.
As soon as that episode was done, that's the first thing I did is go find that clip and say, "Congratulations, Matt! I'm being so right. You're so good, man. I love it. What do you think?
Was that the one where I said I'll do a live there, or was that not the one?
Yeah, I
hope that was not the one.
I took that part out just for you. I didn't want to. I don't want you to make you hold to it,
Sticking to my guns, she might be doing good.
But other than that, that's my gift to you. Matt, go ahead and give us your review. And, Agnes is a good girl, right? So let us know.
Well, firstly, I'll get to the Agnes part at the end, okay? The intro, what do you guys rate? Was that Modern Family or was it like, yeah, because I'm guessing it was a Modern Family kind of intro, which the only thing I didn't like is the fourth wall breaking. Like, I don't like it in films in general, besides obviously Deadpool, because he, through the comics and all that, he does that. But TV shows, movies, I just hate when they just break the fourth wall. But on the intro, I remember, or just after the intro, the kids, unfortunately Carlo's not here because I wanted to just give him a bit of a shout out. They are actually breaking out his first gaming thing, Atari, just to show you his age. So Carlo, if you're watching, I'm sure your most favorite part of the show was when the Atari popped up. But anyway, I'm going to go over some things that didn't make sense, that I didn't like, because I'm going to be honest, I felt this was a big letdown this episode, very big letdown. Monica Rambeau's contact, like, come on, man, we were all building it up. I guess that's what they want us to do, build everything up. Like, everyone thought it was going to be someone big, and please, if anyone knows who the hell she is,
I don't think that was her.
I don't think that was her. I don't think that was the contact.
Well, whatever, that was just the biggest letdown, to in my opinion. And then the car. Did you guys notice like how the car was going through the what are they calling it? The source wall, whatever it is.
Yeah. The source
What
wall.
I didn't understand is I'm just gonna pick, because the only good thing we got out of this show, I'm just gonna tell you the things I didn't really enjoy. The only good thing we got is the reveal of things, but I'll talk about it at the end. But she's going through the wall, source wall, whatever. She's trying to get out of there. She's all shitting herself getting out of there. Then when the car gets thrown out, I'm gonna run in there. Well, you just fucking stay in the car and go in there with the car. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand that why she rushed out and then runs through it. And obviously we know she's got the powers. She's gonna I'm not too sure of the name. I know you guys know. There you go. Her eyes white glowing. I think that scene, her running through there, just went for way too much. and it pretty much to me says that you must get the powers when you go inside this source wall. So I'm assuming, with like Darcy, for example, she had no idea what was going on until Vision, made her be able to see clearly. But I'm guessing everyone's got powers. Because what's the reason that she's got her powers? Like, was it always in her DNA? You know what I mean? Like, what? That's what I just don't understand. Like, there's just a lot of plot holes that I feel that they've done with this show. The Nexus pill, like, I don't know what that was like.
That was weird.
Referring to.
I'm
It
sure
was very weird. It just threw me out, and I just had no idea what the fuck was going on. But anyway, just little plot holes just had. Agatha. All right, we'll get on to the part where you played that video. And in the comics, she's good, isn't she? Isn't she actually?
She's not. She's not evil, and she's not. I want to say she's not good. She's pretty much always looking out for her self-interest. Put it that way.
According to my Marvel encyclopedia that I just found out that I had, she was killed off by Wanda, so she must have done something to piss her off. So,
well, I knew something like this. She was the main freaking. Everyone knew. Like, she was the main, like, person that everyone thought would be obviously the villain. That's why I didn't expect her to be, because it made it so obvious, like Haywood. It was just so obvious. But as soon as she's mentioned in the show, she mentioned that a mole on her back. She mentioned about a mole. And I knew, okay, she's referring to there's a mole in this ring. She's setting it up. It's her. I knew straight away when she said that. I thought, fuck, I was wrong. She's going to be the villain. I think Nick's going to be happy because there's going to be no Mephisto. I think there's going to be no big-time villain in this. I think it's just going to be a show where she's just the villain of this series. And then, like, again, before she went downstairs, she said that she ate a child. I got the Hansel and Gretel feels, and I remembered that show. I remember the witch eating kids. I was like, okay, she's a witch. This is it. They're going to reveal, if they're not going to reveal it in this episode, they're fucking telling us that. And then obviously when she goes down there and she reveals herself, I was just like, you kidding me? Like, you kidding me, right? Like, you build up all these episodes, you leave all these cliffhangers every week, and then you end it with this garbage.
That's good TV.
It's not like I said. I listen. One thing, yes, I'll admit I was wrong, but what I did say from the start, I said the more they keep building this up, the more they've got to keep. Every episode's gonna have to keep ending with a bang. You can't give us 4 or 5 episodes ending, with bangs, and then give us an episode that's just like, you telling us what we expected. First thing we expected. Come on, man. You could have gave us our big theories out there, but I don't know, man. I dropped in the rating in this. I've gone, from your 8.5 to probably a 7, maybe 7.5. It's dropped dramatically because, again, I just don't feel that they hit it on the head with this episode. Because there's 2 more episodes left, I believe, which I'm thinking the next episode is going to be all about explaining how she is and who she is. So there's a wasted episode there. And then the last episode, what are they going to end it with? So I don't know. I was just very let down. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me. They're going to love this episode. They, wrapped, but I was just very, 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 very let down. And I will pass it to, let's go Nick, because he looks very intrigued right there.
Yes. Okay, so great job, Matt. You did a great job. So let me say first, Monica finally gets her powers. Like, that was, we all knew it was gonna happen, but I was so curious in how they were gonna do it, because obviously she had to go back in, and obviously the truck thing, they get the space thing, this giant moon rover. I was like, why does she need this to go in there? Like, obviously I know, like, it's harder now because, like, Wanda fought back, but like is this really necessary? And then it just starts like swallowing it up and like twisting it around. I'm like, what the fuck? And when it throws it out with the what was it, a giant SUV, like a van in the front, I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is ridiculous. It was entertaining, but it was ridiculous. And then she just takes the space helmet off and just walks in. And I was like, okay, great. But when the eyes lit blue, and like when she jumped down, I was like, okay, she has her powers. Like, that's gonna be the revelation of this show, is that there's gonna be a big fight between Wanda and her. Yeah. And I'm excited to see that. other stuff. Like I agree with you. Like the whole Harkness stuff. Like you know, as the episode on, I realized okay, this is where it's going. Okay, no Mephisto, no Mephisto. I was like, either she's gonna be Mephisto or she's gonna be that character, and she was that character. Um, but my thing here is, because we didn't see Pietro at all in this episode, right? Besides like
Yeah, that's what I
flashbacks.
forgot to bloody add. Yeah, what's the deal? You reckon that?
I don't know. We didn't see him. We saw Visions in the circus. Like she went over there, dragged Vision, like basically dragged him back in and expanded this thing, and um, okay, then she just leaves him there in the circus.
But Nick, do you think it was Agus that was preventing them from making it back, or was it Wanda?
What do you mean making who back?
Agnes.
You know how Darcy and Vision were trying to make it back, and like it was like someone was trying to
and
stop
they were
them
stopping them with the traffic lights and everything. I don't know. At this point, I don't know who's doing what because obviously she's not Wanda's the one manipulating reality, and she's manipulating Wanda. So I don't know if she's the one who's able to do. I don't know the extent of what her powers are. Like, what are the extent of her influence? Because you don't know who's doing what. Obviously, everything's being changed because of Wanda, but she clearly is the one with the puppet strings. But Wanda is the machine. Wanda is the one that's physically doing the stuff, but she's being guided, misled, without even knowing it. And I'm not sure where they're gonna go from this. Like, there's got to be there's one more character that has to be revealed somehow because everyone's been hyping this up. I don't know who it's gonna be. There has to be one more character that comes in. There's definitely got to be a big fight between Monica now having powers, and Wanda now might be able to retaliate because at the heart I think she's good. She's twisted, but she's good. I don't know. I really don't know what's gonna happen from here. But it was personally for me, it was one of my favorite episodes because it was just enjoyable. Like the intro, like with the fourth wall and everything. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed how she's like, I'm staying in bed. I'm staying in bed. I'm not doing anything today. I'm staying in bed. Yeah, but besides that, I think that's all I really gotta say. It was pretty good. Like, production wise, it's gotten better and better every episode production wise. You really see where the budget was put in this show. It's towards the tail end. It just gets better and better. But yeah, Carlos, what do you got to say?
You know what, man? I gotta say this. I agree with Matt, and in terms of this episode being kind of a letdown, and
all right, the show's over, guys. So,
hey, you know what, man? Every week I've been hyped. Every week, it's been a damn near perfect episode for me. And not that it wasn't a good episode, but I have actual like nitpicks, which I really haven't had before. And one of the major ones for me is actually Sword. Sword is feeling like it's just like they're useless in a way,
Because it's not Sword. Because it's not Sword. It's AIM. It's 100% AIM.
Was that Army girl the contact? She was Sword, wasn't she?
She can't be the contact. She said it was some kind of
no. Go ahead.
She said that her contact was what, like a aerospace engineer or something,
and a guy. Yeah,
and a guy. So I don't think this is her contact. I think these people might be connected to her contact, but I don't think this is her contact. And I 100% think there's something that someone else has got to come out of this woodwork. Like,
so do I.
Because what's his name? Jimmy Woo is still outside the dome, so he's gonna do something. He's the main character. He's gonna be in the next 2 episodes. He's got to do something outside of the dome because he's the only character outside the dome now.
For sure. And you know what, Nick? You're right. It may not be Sword, but if this is Sword, though, so far it's been an absolute like letdown to the point where they're not even a plot device. They're just like background filler, and
Yeah,
that kind
but
of
look in the movies. Shield this whole time was Hydra. Most of it.
true.
So I
Right.
don't think this is Sword. I think all the government agencies are corrupt and all cover up. There's good people inside them, but I'm 100% telling you right now that something is gonna happen in the next 2 episodes that are gonna rock our world. And if not, I was wrong.
You know what? Manny will be playing your fucking video.
What's the time stamp right now? Okay, cool.
and look, if that ends up being the case, then fine. I hope that at some point there is, some kind of redeeming arc for Sword, because I personally was really excited to get that division, in the MCU. Um, and before, like, Shield was discovered to be, Hydra, all of that stuff, it was still really cool to see Shield in the MCU with Nick Fury and seeing the helicarriers and seeing the operation that they have inside, and all of the agents. It felt like shit. The Shield organization is coming to life in the MCU. I haven't even gotten a glimpse of that with Sword, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that really has disappointed me, and it came to like full fruition in this episode. So that's one of my nitpicks. Another one of my nitpicks is the whole transition from, Monica to now being Photon. And while it was absolutely amazing, and let me tell you why. Even though we got confirmation and it's great that she's Photon now, and it's so dope that it happened in this show, and it looks like she's gonna have some really cool powers. When she went through the barrier, it's almost like she's getting all of these, I don't know, man, whether it's like gut feelings or something, where she's just discovering that, hey, I can go through the force field. And when she transitions, she's almost not as surprised as you would really expect someone to be when they got powers, or as surprised as I wish or excited as she could have been. Now, there was obviously a lot. Her mission is, getting inside, getting to Wanda, all of that stuff. But then when she faced off against Wanda for like a second, and Wanda like blasts her, and she ends up, I guess, breaking free, and she does the superhero landing. There's just no break in her in her expectations.
Yeah, but
Like,
she also grew up knowing Captain Marvel.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna interrupt.
but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
But like, if you grew up with a superhero, like your whole expectation of reality changes.
If all of us grew up around Iron Man and Spider-Man and fucking Thor, and then the next morning we wake up and we're the God of Thunder, there's no way that we're gonna be cool about it. No way.
I would. I would 100%.
Yeah, but she also like was in space all the time. Like like I do agree with you. It was a little fishy, but I can.
This I was say this is why it's just a nitpick. It's not an actual full complaint. It's just a nitpick where I don't know. To me, it was jarring. I could be completely wrong, and I completely see where you're coming from, Nick. You're right. She has been around a lot of like weird shit, but I don't know. I guess I would have enjoyed that when she,
she was a child getting chased around by Skrulls.
Yeah.
True.
She's gotten shot at the age of like 10. Like,
I reckon she got these powers before the fucking force field. I reckon something happened with Captain Marvel, hence why they always have these Captain Marvel references, like when she was running through there.
Yeah.
I think something's going on
I think
with
she
them.
got shot. The radiation from Captain Marvel affected her, and when she went through the barrier, all these times, it kept like triggering it.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
That's exactly what I'm hoping for, because like all of you have mentioned, and you, Matt, Darcy has gone now, and the other agents have gone through, this force field once, right? So this is once. The whole reason why Wanda's, like blood was changing, whatever, was because supposedly she was exposed to that radiation twice. At some point, when all of the agents and Darcy go through the force field, to get out, that's also going to be twice. Why are they not going to get powers? So I really hope.
Unless Wanda just shuts it off. It's not like it goes through them and she just shuts it off.
Could be, right? Yeah, could be. Either way, though, I hope that there's some kind of explanation for that, and I do think that her being exposed to Captain Marvel for such a long time, her radiation or I don't know the the type of energy that she gives off from the Infinity Stone somehow affected Monica, and
Maybe
then
that's her mum's cancer.
Yeah.
could be, and that's why she's mad at, or not mad, but is weird around uh name
Captain
Captain
Marvel.
Marvel.
Yeah.
Who knows, right? But that's my second nitpick. Um, now, as far as what I really enjoyed about this episode is the fact that, again, we're not being dragged another 6, 7 episodes into getting confirmation. It's Agatha Harkness. She laid it out. We're ready for the next phase, right? We're not being dragged down. We're not being bogged down. So I'm excited for that to happen. I'm also excited that it's gotten to the point where Wanda has just completely lost it. Like she does not know what is going on. She's losing control of her powers, and I'm hoping that this is going to be the start of reality breaking, or at least there being a break in this universe into another multiverse. So I'm excited about that, and I'm excited that the the stakes are getting higher, and it doesn't seem like it's the 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 episode or the season is gonna be like slowing down. So I'm excited about that. Those are the only two real nitpicks. But that threw off the overall pacing for me. It was just a little weird. Um, the one thing that I am excited about as well is the Nexus commercial. So what that has to do is, and I'm assuming that it has to do with the nexus of all realities, which in the comic books is pretty much a portal or a access point to all the different realities that are available in the MCU. And I can see how that would tie into Doctor Strange and his movie. The guardian of the nexus of all realities is Man Thing. I don't know too much about Man Thing. I've honestly never read his
Ooh.
comic book. Um, so my knowledge is limited in terms of that. Um, but I do know that the Nexus acts as that kind of access
Yeah.
point.
Wow.
Now, the one thing that I don't really know is what the difference is between the Nexus of all realities and the Starlight Citadel in the Marvel Universe, because
Okay.
the
So
Starlight Citadel, is guarded by Roma, and that also acts as a nexus to different realities in the Marvel universe.
yeah.
So I don't know if this could be a way for Marvel to also potentially introduce the Starlight Citadel, which would be super dope in Doctor Strange, because the Starlight Citadel and Roma have always been, very connected with the X-Men.
Yeah, because of
And
Captain Britain and
because of
Excalibur.
Captain Britain and Excalibur, exactly. And there's been so many iterations of an Excalibur team going to different universes to fix, time aberrations, all of that kind of shit.
And
So that's
it
what
gives you major X-Men characters like Kitty
made.
Pryde,
Yep.
Nightcrawler, um who else?
It could,
Rachel Summers.
and it could also be just a great introduction into Betsy Braddock, man. Like a new version of Psylocke. Because I'll be honest, the version that we got in the in the
Don't say it.
in the X Men
Apocalypse
franchise,
War.
not really the best, man. Can't.
Man, she was like the comic. The costume was perfect. She
Oh no,
amazing.
no. The costume was perfect, but she was wasted, man.
Yeah.
Like she was wasted. There was just she was just there. And personally, Psylocke is in my top 5 favorite X Men. So I want some justice to be done for her. Anyways, that's where I think that the Nexus may tie in, and that got me fucking pumped for this
The
episode.
only information I have on Man Thing with the Nexus is when he was part of Thunderbolts, and I just don't. We already had Ghost, and that was the team he was a part of. Was Man Thing and Ghost.
Oh yeah, you're right. I never read that run, but yeah. Um, so that was a big positive for me. I also really enjoyed the references to The Office and Modern Family because I think that they captured the essence of Modern Family, the way that the camera, zooms in that and then pans out. It was just perfect, man.
So good.
Um,
When
so good.
Vision is sitting in the chair inside of his head
Very
while he's sitting in the car, he's like, "Wait, what am I doing sitting here?" And all of a sudden, he flies through the roof.
And Elizabeth Olsen does a great job of like almost acting like that. The wife from Modern Family, she's almost
Yeah,
acting exactly the same. Like it's perfect. It's beautiful.
it's perfect. I can't from episode one, man. The acting that I've seen from Elizabeth Olsen in this has been fucking
Flawless.
phenomenal, dude. Just flawless. The way that she can switch between, you know, uh,
Mhm.
playing this, TV character in every era, man. Every era from the fucking 50s or 60s to the 70s to the 80s to now the 2000s. And then on top of that, like switching into, Wanda and then Sokovian Wanda is just perfect. It's flawless. She's amazing. So those are my only real, complaints in this episode. But overall, great episode. Just not as good as the previous ones because I just felt that the pacing and then some of the stuff that was, like happening were just kind of jarring. But overall, though, great episode.
All right, so it's up to me now.
Go for it.
I'm very happy that you guys said what y'all said because it just like reaffirms my nerdiness. When I was watching it and Elizabeth Olsen was going down to the basement and I saw all the vines just going around the whole dungeon area, my first thought was like that looks like Man Thing, but I really hope it's not Man Thing because like there's also some like red spots that look like Man Thing's like eyes and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I hope I'm wrong, or maybe I'm just looking too into it because Man Thing is such a out there character. Like,
Yeah,
hasn't even
but you
been
know
made.
what? I don't know if you guys have saw the solicitations, but there's a bunch of
Yeah,
Curse of Man Thing crossovers with a bunch of
exactly.
different books coming out. What in like April or March or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Um,
exactly what I was gonna say.
May. And they don't. You know what? That could be hinting at something because they're doing something with the character. Also, it might try to be work off the popularity of them doing the what's DC's version?
Swamp Thing.
Something.
Swamp Thing. They have a Swamp Thing show. I haven't watched it, but that could be
Yeah,
trying to build off of that because they're very similar characters.
you basically took it right out of my mouth.
Oh,
I was gonna say exactly. There's
my bad, Manny.
no, you're good. You're good. And like and the same thing with the Swan Thing show. Like it is pretty successful. The only reason they didn't do season two was I don't know, they're idiots because everyone loved it. Everyone that I know that has seen it loved it.
I heard it's a slow build though.
I haven't seen it so
Oh.
either, but that's cool. And a friend of mine told me all about like the Nexus and how it connects to the Man Thing. So I was like, oh no, maybe I was right. And one time I didn't want to be right. Um, I was trying to figure out how Nexus would connect to the Power Stone because like that's the last stone that has to do with the commercials, right? They haven't done a Power Stone yet. That might be next week, but I'm thinking that they're done with the sitcom stuff, like because we're pretty much caught up. We're in the 2000s. They might do a 2010s era, but I think the next two episodes we're done with sitcoms. Um, and I don't know how I feel about that, but maybe we get one more commercial. But Matt, you stole it out of my mouth as well. The whole suspicious mole. As soon as she said that, I paused it and I said, "She's talking about Jimmy Woo's contact. There's some suspicious mole in my back. Like he's on my back." And I was like, "Oh, that's what you're talking about." It's not like it wasn't like she's the suspicious mole. I took it as there's someone watching her. She knows someone's watching her, and that was just her funny way of saying it, kind of like the way she said, I bit a kid once, you know." So I think that's gonna have to do something with with that there. Um, One of the positive things, I had zero negatives, by the way, just throwing that out there. You guys all suck for going down, but but I have zero negatives. My positives,
I have no well, I have a couple negatives, but I think this show is just as good as any of the other episodes.
yes. No, Darcy, she did not need help from Vision whatsoever. She was helping Vision. She punched that guy out. Oh look, Mess Comics is reading our minds because he's over here talking about Darcy. As soon as I mentioned Darcy, he brought up Darcy. He said I wanted to see Darcy or he or she, sorry, wanted to see Darcy be in her uniform from Two Broke Girls. That would have been awesome. That would have been great.
That would have been good.
No, but she punched.
Yo, sorry, real quick. Guilty pleasure. I actually loved fucking Two Broke Girls, dude. I watched it. I loved it. I'll say it. I don't care.
I never got a chance to watch it, so
I watched it.
Really good show.
Like I said, great show. Anyways, man, sorry. Go ahead, man.
Good. So she so the guy grabbed her. I expected Vision to come just jumping in. No, she knocked that guy out. Like that was great. She knocked him out, and then she's the one that went to the truck, and she's the one that found the key, and she's driving. She's in charge the whole time, and I love that. And I'm just happy we got end credit scenes again. The whole Snooper's gonna snoop. That was great. I love it. That's where we saw Pietro. I don't know if you guys saw it, but that was great. When it comes to like references, I may be looking too much into this. I know this is call me Mr. Fantastic because I'm about to stretch. Here we go. The Major Goodner, the one that like brought all the stuff. She said she did a communications check with Monica before she drove in. But instead of saying like communication check, whatever, she said instead of Captain, she said Capcom check. Capcom, Marvel versus Capcom. I'm like, oh, is that something there? I don't know. I like it. Capcom check. I was like, I'm Marvel versus Capcom. There it is. There's
the greatest arcade game.
I'm stretching.
We need a new one, by the way. It's time.
For what? Oh yeah, exactly. Maybe this is a reference that they're gonna get a new one. But and then you guys have already called it, but superhero landing. As soon as Monica got into the other side, the first thing she did is superhero landing. She fought Wanda. Superhero landing, like those twice. She did it twice. She already knows how to be a superhero. She's perfect. There it is. I loved it.
I'm excited to see the extent of her power.
I don't want her to have like you were saying that she's gonna have a major fight with Wanda. I don't think that she should because she hasn't trained with her powers. There's no way that she should be able to go one-on-one with Wanda.
Well, she's a trained military, so she knows how to fight. So I think she's just gonna go balls to the wall with the power.
Yeah, you can fight.
Wouldn't make her do that.
Sure, you can fight and all that stuff, but I'm telling you now, no military has trained with Spectrum's powers. Like, no one has done that. So that's why that's just me. I don't want that to happen.
Well, explain how Iron Man could fight.
He's rich and he got a lot of personal trainers.
Well, you know what? She's in the military. She grew up with freaking Captain Marvel. She might know how to do everything. We don't know between her being a child and when she got back from the blimp. We don't know.
And to your point, I rewatched Captain Marvel recently, and one of my main picks on that was that she's a little girl. She's never seen this Kree technology, and then she just knows how to fix the whole color scheme and everything. And she does it perfectly. She knows exactly what she's doing. So you know what? Maybe you're right. She just kind of picks things up fast. I don't know. Yeah, that's true. My last thing was when Agatha Harkness reveals herself. Her line is, "You didn't think you were the only magical girl in town, right? Magical." As far as we know, Wanda is not a mutant. And she is not, and no one has ever referenced her powers as magical, except for like the Hex, but that's in this show right now. So no one knows about magic. So that tells me, one, Agatha for sure is magic. She's a witch for 100% sure. But now she's saying Wanda is a witch as well, and no one, this has never been established. And I think this is the MCU's way of establishing that she is magic. And you're right. Doctor Strange is magic. Mass Comics said that Doctor Strange is magic, but he hasn't referenced Wanda as being magic. That's what I'm saying. Wanda has never been a magical being. She's been enhanced. She's not a mutant or anything. Yeah. She's an enhanced human. So like this is nice. I like that, honestly.
Real quick to just jump on that point. So in the comics, it was actually Agatha Harkness that saw a potential in Wanda to learn how to learn magic because of her ability to affect reality. Her chaos magic. She believed that Wanda could be an adept at learning magic, and that's why Wanda became to be known as a witch and one of the most powerful magical beings in the Marvel universe was because of Agatha. So who knows? There
That's awesome. That I like that.
there might be something there, and that's why when she says you're not the only magical girl around, it's because she sees the potential of Wanda to be able to like learn how to use magic, and it'd be cool if we see that kind of event transpire, because again, in the comic books, Agatha Harkness has never really been an evil persona, but who knows how they're gonna tackle that on, which leads into a couple other of my theories, man. But go ahead, sorry.
No, that's the thing. My last thing was to say that going into Nick's point of that Agatha's going to be the big bad. I think there is. She may be puppeteering Wanda, but I think there's someone above her puppeteering her, and maybe Agatha is not going to turn out to be bad. She may turn out to be the trainer for Wanda. Who knows how that's going to work out? But that leads into part 2 of this, and that is a bunch of possible theories. And so I'm going to read what Nuno sent me because he wasn't able to come in, but he sent me. He wants to be the first one to say this theory because he doesn't want Matt to take any credit or anything like that.
Here we go.
So basically, it's just one theory, and it's dealing with Hayward, which let me just once again put out there. I think Hayward is an idiot. I don't think he's a guy. I don't think he's any kind of villain or anything. He's just an idiot.
He's just a pencil pusher, man.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, he says he wanted Hayward wanted Vision's body to be functional, so he's the one that reached out to Agatha, and because he thought that maybe Agatha could do something with it. Then they find out that Wanda could probably do it, and so that he arranged everything to happen the way it happened. And then things got a little spicy, he says. So that's his theory, is that Agatha and Hayward basically are working together. If I got that wrong, no, I'm sorry. But then comes to me, and I still have my theory that Jimmy Woo is the most evil person.
Oh, no. Woo. Lies.
It's impossible.
Lies.
So I was thinking, what if Agnes / Agatha Harkness is the informant that Jimmy Woo is looking for? Got lost. Jimmy Woo is Mephisto or something like that. Something like that. Jimmy Woo is gonna be a bad guy. I'm calling it right now.
Lies.
Jimmy Woo.
What minute are we up to on this segment? Just so I can share this for you.
Yes, timestamp.
That's my theory. Jimmy Woo is the bad guy. He's the ultimate evil. He's the one. Agnes is his informant. That's what he's there for. Jimmy's a bad guy. You guys are all being fooled. I'm sorry.
No, it's not Jimmy. It can't be Jimmy. Jimmy Woo, man.
Dude.
Other than that,
Protect Jimmy Woo at all costs.
At all costs, protect
All
Jimmy
costs.
Woo. We need further Jimmy Woo influence in the MCU.
You have to, man.
that's my part. That's my part. Matt, what are your theories? What do you think's gonna happen?
After this episode, I don't think Marvel know how to think outside the box, to be honest. So, I'm still gonna stick with that. Wanda's bad because, man, when she came out of this circle, she knew. Hey, she came out. She knew what was going on. She knew what was going on when she came out. She knew what was going on. Yes, she put all the guns on Hayward. She didn't worry about Monica and that, but she knew what was going on. All right, I'm gonna go. You think Jimmy Woo's a bad guy? I'm gonna say that if she's on the borderline, Wanda, of being bad, I think Agnes is going to push her to that side, and she's going to join Agnes. All right, because they're going to be both, Scarlet Witch. She's a witch. I reckon they're both be witches, and I reckon she needs help to maybe
Cutting down the time right now, dude.
She needs help. She needs Wanda's help to resurrect Mephisto.
Okay.
Nah, like if anything, we get Mephisto and Spider-Man, he's gonna make the deal to everyone forget. But nah, man, honestly, after today's episode, after last night's episode, or well, 2 nights, I don't know when it was for you guys, but I just don't have any. I was just very let down that I don't want to look. outside the box because I know Marvel's not going to do it. But I'm still going to stick by that Wanda's bad because she knew what she's doing when she's coming out. I think Hayward wants Vision's body to create a better Ultron that will end up turning bad. I reckon we're still going to get Ultron. He may not be a big bad, but he might be a bad in one of the other series. But yeah, after this episode, man, like it's like Marvel saying, listen, we know you guys have to think outside the box, and we threw it out there for you guys to think outside the box, but we don't. Everything's in plain sight for you right there, bang. From the start, I did say in my video that in the first 2 episodes, you'll meet the villain, because you always, in every show and every movie, in the first 15 minutes, you will meet the villain, guaranteed. And we obviously did with Agnes, but yeah, no more outside the box series with me. But I'll go Carlos this time. What are your theories, mate? Yeah, and on that, I might be jumping out in about 5 minutes to drop the girlfriend off at the train station. I will leave my thing I want. So if anyone does break into my apartment, you guys can see it. Continue.
So I think that Agatha Harkness is not really the villain that it seems like she is. I do think that she has obviously put a lot of these things into motion. But as far as why she's doing it, I personally think that she's under the control of Mephisto.
I'm not mad at you for that.
I still think that it's Mephisto, and this is why. The book that we saw there in her cave or whatever, I don't know if that's the Darkhold. The Darkhold already popped up in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show, but Kevin Feige has pretty much disregarded all of that shit that's happened. And the book obviously looked different in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show, but the Darkhold can take many different forms. It's definitely some type of grimoire book or whatever. And I think that Agatha is under the influence. If it's not Mephisto, it's some type of demonic otherworld being, whether it's maybe Dormammu, maybe Nightmare, who knows. But I think that Agatha is also under some kind of control because this demonic being sense that Wanda has alternate reality powers, and she has potentially access to the powers of one of the Infinity Stones, and she needs her power to break this book open and cast some sort of spell to bring that being into this universe. So I think that that's what's going on, but that book is going to play some kind of super significant role in this. And why I also think that it could be Mephisto still is because in the comic books, again, her children were made with parts of Mephisto's soul, of his being, like shards from him. So that has to be addressed. I still think that it's Mephisto.
Sorry, just Carlos, where do you fucking think the kids were?
That's what I'm saying. I think that Mephisto finally reabsorbed them, because that's what ends up happening into the comics. That's how Wanda loses her kids. When she realizes that, she's gonna lose her shit, and that's where we're gonna get some kind of crazy like multi-dimensional break in reality. And she's being manipulated to be able to bring Mephisto into this universe. That's like my number one theory. Now, as far as what brought Wanda to this town and the whole thing with Hayward and the cataract program, I definitely am with you guys that I think that he was trying to use Vision to bring back Ultron or create some kind of army. Wanda ended up finding out because, again, we found out that Vision had in his will, he had a directive that he did not want to be researched, brought back to life, all of that stuff. Hayward obviously wasn't honoring that. Wanda found out. That's why she broke in there to get Vision's body back. And in that grief, all of that was happening, her actually seeing his body, him not being able to be left to rest, she lost her shit, ended up in Westview, and created this reality that we have now. That's how
that makes sense because like she hasn't done anything within like the 2-3 weeks in between. She's been dealing with her grief, right? So
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I think led up to those events. Now the burning question is still Pietro. Dude, it cannot be a coincidence that it happens to be Evan Peters. Like Pietro, there's something there. There has to be something there. And where I think that this is again playing into the crack in reality and Mephisto and Agatha Harkness, all of that stuff. Mephisto is a multi-dimensional being. And I think that to drive her more in insane so that she can be prone to being manipulated by Agatha, he pulled uh Evan Peters, Quicksilver from that dimension. Or it's still coming back to Professor X sending uh Evan Peters, Quicksilver to try and reach, Wanda. Something is going on there. I think that there's all these plot points and they're all gonna fit together somehow. Um I still think that the aerospace engineer, I still think that there's something there. The the person that she met up with, or what was her name, Manny? Captain or Major, what was it?
Goodman.
Yeah, Major Goodman. There, she's just third party or not a third party, a intermediary, between her and the aerospace engineer. I still think that there's something there, and it's gonna be Mr. Fantastic at the end of everything. But yeah, those are the theories that I got.
Before we take it to Nick, Mess Comics did just say that their theory is that Doctor Strange is going to show up. He's going to take Wanda away, put her in the pocket dimension, but needs her help for the movie, and then she takes Vision or destroys the body and gets dissolved away.
That's pretty good.
I think that actually brings up a whole thing. Maybe Doctor Strange is going to be the big cameo because
Yeah, but did they work? Did they have any scenes together? Because they both said did they have any scenes together in any of the movies?
I don't think so.
Probably
That's what
in Endgame.
no.
But did they have a scene together? You know what I mean? Were they in the same scene together? Yes, they were in the same movie, but did they act on the same scene?
Vision was
That's
not
the question.
Not that I can remember.
But yeah,
I don't
that's the
think
only.
So that might be the actor he's talking about. He's like, I've always wanted to work with Benedict Cumberbatch.
But Doctor Strange is at the end of next year. Is it the end of next year or is it mid?
It's April of next year, I think. Yeah, like April.
I was gonna say, is this gonna have a season 2 or is it? What's the deal? That's what I was.
I doubt this is gonna have a season 2. I think this is
It hasn't been announced or anything like that. I doubt it, but who knows?
But Nick, what are your theories?
What do you got, man? What do you got?
All right,
Rubbing up my foot.
bear with me. This might take a lot of brain power.
Oh god, here
Okay.
we go.
So
Mr.
we're gonna start off.
Timestamp it. Timestamp it.
We're gonna start off with Hayward. So I think he is a lackey for a bigger evil that's going to affect the Marvel universe in the future, the MCU in the future. Being that he was trying to get Vision, all the stuff with Ultron, I could clearly see that he's working. He was working in the organization in Sword to use Sword for someone else's benefit. So I think that's going to be revealed of who he's working for, or at least what his plan was with Vision. I think that Jimmy Woo is going to meet up with the contact, with Monica's contact, and going to bring that person in. Personally, at this point, I kind of agree with you guys. It either has to be Doctor Strange or Reed Richards. From what she's saying, it makes sense for Reed Richards. I don't know how they would tie that in, or it could be Henry Pym, and that could be another thing.
Or again, Adam Brashear, Blue Marvel. Who knows, man? Because of Photon and Blue Marvel. I mean, I don't know.
But it might be able to establish someone like Henry Pym, who's already an established character that isn't really a superhero anymore. So like his presence doesn't really mean as much as one of these main actors. So, but he's also an amazing actor, so that could.
Hey, talking about that, an Ant-Man and the Wasp wasn't that guy. What's his name? He was Morpheus in the Matrix. but he's not a hero anymore, but he was Goliath in
Yes.
MCU.
Oh, yeah, Goliath. Yeah.
Yeah,
Lord,
it could be him too. You know, that's another person who's a huge scientist. That's a major character in the
Larry
comics.
Fishburne. Larry Fishburne. Thank you.
yeah.
So I think that Jimmy Woo is gonna bring in whoever the contact really is. And then inside the dome, I think there's gonna be a crazy 3 or 4 way battle between Wanda, Vision, and Monica. And obviously, Monica's not going to have the experience. She's going to attempt and fail, and that's when Vision's going to step in.
Oh yeah, Vision's on his way for sure. Yes.
Vision is ready to fuck some shit up. I'm serious
His
here.
wife.
And
His
if
wife.
yes, but here's the thing: I think that something's going to happen in there that's going to allow him to leave the dome. He this is just me as a fanboy. I would love to see some kind of he interacts with Monica's powers and somehow he becomes White Vision.
That'd be dope,
And he's
man.
able to leave the dome, and then he's a reoccurring character from now on. I personally think that this movie is going to lead directly into Doctor Strange, so I do now think that Agatha Harkness is, like you said, not the main big bad for the MCU, main big bad in this show, but she's a ploy. She's a decoy. She's being used by. I don't want to say Mephisto, so I'm going to say Dormammu. I'm going to
Carlos.
say Dormammu, but I think, and this is how I think they're going to lead in, because right now they've kind of been able to sever ties with all the X-Men theories because they said magic.
Mhm.
But I
Yeah.
think they could easily introduce a character at the end. This is my long throw. This is my Hail Mary here.
Ilyana Rasputin. Ilyana Rasputin.
Yes. That's my Hail Mary for the X-Men. Because she is a magic character. She's in Strange Academy. She is super tied with Mephisto and this whole, because her powers are able to teleport, right? She's able to walk through realms and shit. But all her other abilities are super magic based. Are all it's all demon and Mephisto and Dormammu inspired, like, connected powers. So her main ability is something that's mutant, but all her other powers are magic. So this could easily tie her in, and that could introduce characters like her brother Colossus that later get mutant powers.
And Colossus, Deadpool, and
yes.
Can you repeat her name though? Because you were kind of cut off. You're talking about magic, but what's her real name?
Ilyana Rasputin.
Yeah, I can never say her first name.
And you know what, man? If they do bring her, into this, I would not mind it at all if Ann Taylor-Joy played her again.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like the New Mutants movie, so
the movie wasn't great, but I think that she would do an amazing job now as her in the MCU with direction, from whatever Marvel director it is. But man, I would be fucking stoked.
She's an amazing character, and there's so much potential for this character. And being that she's part of one of my favorite X-Men teams, the New Mutants.
Yeah.
And she's a major player in X-Men in general. There's been tons of storylines connected around her. Her brother is one of the main X-Men.
And dude, I mean, yeah, and I mean it plays perfect into the underworld, type of magic whole thing going on with Limbo, and they can introduce the dimension of Limbo. And again, Mephisto, man, I don't know. It keeps on going back to that for me, but man, it'd be fucking cool, man. And you know what? If that book is the Darkhold does play some kind of role with Mephisto from like time to time.
Yeah. So I think with that connection, with Mephisto being, a Doctor Strange villain, with Agnes Harkness having the magic powers and stuff, she could be tied into that. Obviously, we know that Spider-Man has ties to Mephisto. I'm trying to think other characters that have ties, and I don't know, but we now know the Monica's ties to Captain Marvel wrap her in. The whole sword thing can wrap all the Shield characters in. Um, I'm trying to think who. I don't know how Hawkeye. So the thing that I haven't mentioned, and we none of us have mentioned, is what's going to happen to the kids at the end of the show after the dome is gone.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to disappear, like in the comics. I think they're just going to exist, and they're going to have to find their way without their mom. And I think
Kinda-
that's going to lead into stuff with the Hawkeye show with Kate Bishop and stuff like that. And it'll eventually lead to a whole Young Avengers thing, if not a TV show, probably not a movie, but maybe like a mini series.
Honestly, like it is starting to kind of sound like the Children's Crusade book that I just bought. I didn't think that was going to deal with a lot of WandaVision like connection and stuff, but they talked about House of M. They talked about all that. They talked about how Wanda kind of like lost her children and everything. And now that you're mentioning like it's going to lead to the children are going to go into their soul, they're probably going to go into somebody else's body, but it's going to be inhabit them. It's going to be them. They're going to have the powers. That's how this Children's Crusade starts. Is the kids don't know that they are Wanda's children. They just they assume. Wiccan assumes. He's like, I think I met Speed through this Young Avengers, and guess what? He looks just like me. That's weird. Oh, also Wanda lost two twins, or that she lost her twins. She looks like me. I have her powers. He's got Quicksilver's powers, and he's like putting those connections together. So what you're saying sounds a lot like Children's Crusade.
Yeah,
that
which
timeline.
I think they're introducing characters like Kate Bishop. They have
Mhm.
obviously I keep forgetting this. We haven't mentioned this. The Vision's part of Young Avengers.
Oh my God! Hold on. Kang has been casted. Kang is Iron Lad. Kang shows up in Children's Crusade.
Kang is a descendant of Iron Man and Franklin Richards, right?
I don't know I don't know much about Kang, but in this Children's Crusade, it's I don't know if it's revealed or anything, but I found out for the first time that Iron Lad is Kang in the future. Yeah. Iron Lad creates Vision 2. So there might be a connection here between Kang. I don't know. I kind of losing it a little bit, but
yeah, I forgot the Vision 2 is part of Young Avengers, which is the weirdest thing that this younger version of Vision was hanging out with his kids.
Yes. And so we got Stature, which is Ant-Man's daughter.
Yes. Oh my God. So we have Stature, we got Kate Bishop, we got Speed and Wiccan. Dude.
Lad needs to show up at some point, whatever, as Kang and make Vision 2. And then we got, I don't know, man. I think Children's Crusade.
I know I've been preaching Young Avengers since since the kids were introduced, or since she got pregnant. I was like, Young Avengers. But as the show goes on, and it's one of the theories that like settles at the bottom and no one really thinks about, they're making it more of a possibility. I know no one said anything, but they're introducing all these characters that are like, if they don't do anything with it, like what the hell? Like they already scrapped. I know Feige scrapped freaking Runaways, so like that sucks. And Runaways used to do a bunch of crossovers with Young Avengers.
We got a comment by Carlos Sims. White Vision! Exclamation point.
Dude, yes, White Vision.
Carlo.
But yeah, no, that's so one other theory. My last possible theory. This is not an original theory. I read this online and immediately was like, "That's garbage theory. You're dumb." But as we talk about it, is that book? Like a week or two ago, I read a theory that I forget how to say. Gurath or whatever. Say that again.
Shumagarath?
Yeah, that guy. That he might be Kulan Gath also. Might be part of this because of the whole, taking over, possessing bodies, whatever. And I was like, that doesn't really count. But then you got that book that shows up, and you're saying that it might be part of it could be something. It could be that book. If it's not the Darkhold, it could be the Kulan Gath thing, which is right now the only reason I know who that is because of Savage Avengers.
Yeah, he's been tied to Conan the Barbarian, right? Yeah,
exactly. And so that might be something that's more of a stretch that I'm seeing.
I was gonna say a little obscure, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, they might want to do something with Conan as well. I don't know if they've given that up or not for the MCU, but that's the last possible theory that I have. Which I guess leads up to the final part, final questions, final thoughts, things like that. And my only question, honestly, and we've been talking about it, is Major Goodner. Is she gonna be the person? I don't think so. Um, what happened to the boys? Maybe she ate them. Maybe she gave them back to Mephisto. Who knows? But the one thing that really bothered me. This is not really like anything big or any concerning question or anything. It just bothers me is how does Darcy know everything that happened? Like she's telling Vision like as if she was there. Like hey, yeah, Vision died once because Wanda killed you, and then immediately you were revived, and Thanos killed you. How does she know that? How does she have that knowledge?
Well, she's friends with Thor.
That's true. That's true.
So and I have an answer for that because dude, I promise you, I was thinking the exact same thing. And my honest explanation to that is twofold. Number one, we've obviously seen how a ridiculous kind of a hacker she is, man. I mean, she fucking just broke into she fucking broke into yeah, exactly. So that's part one of that. Part two is the whole Thor aspect.
Yeah.
So I think that she still has contact maybe with Thor and her whole experience hanging around him. She's been keeping tabs on the Avengers on what's going on with him.
I was thinking like
And
maybe
Jane Foster, she's coming back, so they're obviously friends. And I think that Jane Foster has been keeping tabs on Thor. We know she's coming back for what is it? Love and Thunder.
Thunder. Yeah.
So
that makes sense. I was thinking more of it could have been Captain America, like made a public announcement just because it's such a big thing that happened. Something like behind the scenes.
True.
My wife, she mentioned that it could be sensitive information, and because she got pulled into this area, she got briefed for it because only the government knows what actually happened, and because she's there, it is she just got briefed. And I was like, that's a good explanation, but I don't like it. Carlos, did you have any questions or final thoughts?
Honestly, questions, no. I think that we've addressed all the questions, but just thoughts or lingering questions, I guess. I still want to know who the person that was in witness protection program that Jimmy Woo was there to check up on. That can't, to me, it still can't be a coincidence that they happen to be in the town that Wanda landed in, right? So that's still a question that I have. It hasn't been touched on. Maybe
it's gotta be Agatha. It's gotta be whoever she's just been.
Could be, and which also raises the question: why was she in witness protection? Why does the FBI know about her? You know what I mean? Like what?
So
what's going?
We got. I just thought of something that no one's touched on this entire show.
What is it? Shoot for it.
All the references she makes about her husband, but we haven't met her husband.
Yeah, Ralph, right?
It's Mephisto. Ralph.
I just don't want to. I still think that is Mephisto, but that theory has been run into the ground so much that I just don't know, man. But yeah, the whole Ralph thing, she keeps on mentioning him.
The devil's in the details. She said that.
Exactly. So that's really my still lingering question: is who that contact is. Sorry, not contact. The person that's in the Witsec. But other than that, man, I'm just looking forward to the next episode. I really want to see where the whole Agatha Harkness is that whole plot is gonna go. What's in it for her? What is she really after? Yeah, it's pretty much it, man. Nick, what do you got?
Good episode. Obviously it's not the best, but it was entertaining. I really think they have some potential in the last two episodes to do some crazy stuff to really blow our minds and lead into whatever they want to do next. If it's not, obviously all the magical references now, it's got to be Doctor Strange, but it could be one of the other shows that's coming up. Because what they have multiple shows that are coming out this year or next year.
No man, Captain America and Winter Soldier, bro. It's March. As soon as as soon as this is over, I think like the following week or 2 weeks after that it starts.
Are there any other shows this year, or that's the only ones?
Loki.
All right, so there's 3 shows this year, right?
Yeah. Loki. No, and Hawkeye.
Hawkeye is at the end of this year.
Kate Bishop.
All right, that's at the end of this year. All right, so we could have Young Avengers by the end of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm telling you, like the whole Kang thing, like as soon as I just right now put those two together, that's got me excited.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
I know you wanted the Champions because that's the more relevant team at the moment for young heroes, but we don't have an MCU a Miles Morales. We have his uncle. We don't have him.
Yeah, that's true.
We don't. I guess Falcon and Winter Soldier could bring in American Chavez.
Oh, they could also bring Patriot.
Yeah, but I think Patriot's the more like easy solution because of them both being military background and Captain America being dead and
Yeah. I mean, if they do bring in, I would say if they do bring in America Chavez, throughout this, and if they do bring her in soon, I mean, she is a multi-dimensional jumper, and her whole role is going to different universes and dimensions and fixing problems that are there. That's like her whole.
My problem is you'd have to bring in the main character is Miss Marvel, but you're already gonna have 2 Marvel women, Captain and what are they calling her? What Monica? Photon. Right. You're gonna have already
she might be Spectrum. I mean, who knows? Whatever she goes by.
I think it's kind of annoying because I remember her as Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel. I remember her as Captain Marvel. It pisses me off that they made her Captain Marvel. I love Warbird.
Warbird is dope, man.
Warbird's a Miss Marvel. Warbird. That costume is the best costume.
It is.
It's all black with the big yellow like lightning bolt down the side, and she's got the red sash that flies off. She's the high boots.
Gotcha.
That was her costume for the longest time. She was Warbird in that, and she was that. But another costume that was popular was when she was in the X-Men when she was all red energy. When she's wearing the white suit.
Oh yeah. That's when.
What was her name for that?
She went by I think she went by what was it?
It was something with an M. No.
What are you talking about?
So, the woman who is Captain Marvel has had so many different names, and she started as a character in the X-Men.
Okay, I see.
Because she got into an argument or something with Rogue.
Oh wait.
Rogue took over her body.
I just saw. I don't know how I fucking forgot about this, but when she was all red, it was when she was in her binary persona.
Binary, yes, binary. Yeah. So because she's been binary, she's been Warbird, she's been Miss Marvel, she's been Captain Marvel. She's been all sorts of things. She's looked all sorts of different, had all these different costumes. But Monica, I always remember her being the 90s Captain Marvel because Marvel had passed away or whatever it was.
So speaking of that, my Marvel encyclopedia tells me that she took that Captain Marvel name, and the only reason she changed it to Photon was because the son of Marvel wanted his dad's name. So she was like, okay, you can have it. So she changed it to Photon. And then he came back and was like, you know what? I want to be Photon. So she had to change her name again to Spectrum, which is what it is now, because he wanted Photon.
Which son is this? It's not Hulkling.
I have no idea.
Hulkling's his son also.
Is he?
Yeah. Right?
No.
Isn't Hulkling's dad Captain Marvel?
Is it? I thought it was. Oh no, yeah, you're right. And one of the Skrull, what was it? Like, queens or princesses or some shit like that, right?
Also,
Yeah.
Carlos says that delivery guy that keeps showing up is that Ralph? Maybe
He's creepy, dude.
he just keeps showing up. That is weird.
That guy is creepy. But is the let's see. That is
Why does it not say on freaking on the
Marvel.
Switch that is?
Marvel.
It is Marvel.
And his mom was Princess Anel. Yeah, so she was a scroll princess. That I do remember.
Yeah, because he's dude. It's this man got around.
All right. Any other final thoughts?
Overall, man, like I said, just because of those small nitpicks, I gotta give this week like an 8.5, 9, something like that, because it was still great. Binary, binary. Photon, Spectrum, whatever the hell she's gonna go by. It was dope that Monica Rambeau got her powers. It was fun seeing Agatha Harkness finally reveal herself, and then setting up next week's show. I'm hyped, but again, there's just some small disappointments for me. But 8.5, 9 overall, great.
I give it. I'm gonna give it a 7.5 because I've been giving it an 8.5. I think it was, it could have been a little bit better this week. But I'll give it a 7.5.
My rating is always gonna be a 10. So
10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10.
Carlo got to me. It's always 10 now. Well, in that case, if you're not following us, make sure you go to twitch.tv/1 month later club. I know Nick, you're streaming on your stuff as well.
Yeah,
so
I shouted out in the chat.
Okay, yeah, go to 1 month later club.
Yeah, anyone who's watching on here, please, if you're watching the Vinyl Casket, make sure you go to YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, and follow, sub, whatever, to 1 month later club, one with the number. Search for everything. It's always gonna be on. If you're on my Instagram at Vinyl Casket, everything's always tagged every once in a while. Make sure you hook it up because we're trying to grow.
Yes, and then we're also on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcast. So other than that, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We're also about to stream for what are we talking about? The King in Black, Deceased, and Secret Seven, or Seven Secrets, or Secret Seven?
7 Secrets.
7 Secrets. So make sure you tune in for that. Thank you. See you later.
Thanks, everybody.